Right, I'm getting ready to get the schools ready for a boiler test, and the safety valves are a bit of a job to get out without a special tool, which I haven't got, and unless I need to make it, I don't think it needs it. So what I'm going to do is make a way of holding down the safety valve pins for the hydraulic test, and go through a couple of other little bits that we need. So let's go. Because the safety valves have got this little ridge at the top, we can make a tool that drops underneath them, hooks onto that, and with a plate on top that screws down to hold the pins down. I've already made one for my Ginty, so I'll show you that. Here's the one I've already made for Ginty. As you can see, there's two cutouts which fit around the safety valve bodies, and two dimples in the top plate that sit on top of the safety valve pins to hold them down, and one bolt going through that holds it all together. Just slides through, sits on, and then tighten up the nut, the bolt, and then just give it a little tweak with a spanner, and that will hold it down to conduct a hydraulic test. On Ginty, because of this plate, the whole cladding has to come off to get the safety valves out. That's why I had to do this, but it's a nice easy method. So far I've drilled two holes, tapped a hole in the middle, cut with a hacksaw, fairly straightish but not really, tidied up the edges with a file, and there we go. So I just need another plate across the top with two dimples in and a bolt, and then we're done. If you're interested, that's a 2BA thread in the middle. And that's it, finished. That will hold the pins of the safety valve down while we do the hydraulic test. We just need to figure out where we're going to plumb the hydraulic pump into it. I could use this, but it's a bit of a pain to disconnect the brake valve every time that you want to do it, plus the valve should be tested as well, so that's going to have to come off. I will take the pressure gauge off so that can be tested separately, and I'll make a short piece of pipe as an adapter that goes onto there, small pipe, and the right thread on the other end to go onto our test gauge, pump at the club. So I'll show you that next. Pressure gauge has come off. I've measured the thread and it's 3/16. Just check it against tap and it's 3/16 40. I've looked in my box, I haven't got any 3/16 40 olives and nuts, so that's going to have to be made. So I've made up a short piece of 1/8 pipe. In order to keep the pipe size as big as possible, I've made just a circular olive without a ferrule, which I've soldered onto the end of the pipe, tried it in place, and that's perfect. I just need to add a piece of pipe threaded to a 1/4 40, ready to take the pump at the club. So all I've done, having tried it in the engine, I turned a bit of hexagon to 1/4, which is a 1/4 hexagon anyway, put a 40 TPI thread because that's what the thread is at our club for the test pump. Countersunk the end, or centre drilled. I parted it off, turned it around, centre drilled the other end for 1/8, fitted the bit of pipe, and now that's been soldered, which will make the test pipe for pumping up the hydraulic test on the boiler. There are times with an old loco that I shoot myself in the foot by trying to reuse the original stuff and keeping some of the heritage of the loco a bit too much. I'm hoping this isn't too much of the case here. So what I've done, I extended a little tab off of one side of the plate and then resoldered on the original handle, and afterwards I'll file this tab off and then bolt it back onto the brake valve, and hopefully I've got it all to the right angles and it will work correctly. And there it is, cleaned up, filed off, fitted back in place. If I remember correctly, that's the off position and that's the on position, but I may be wrong. We'll know once we get steam in the thing. So yeah, works quite nicely. And there she is, finished, ready for a hydraulic test. The adapter's already on there, ready to take the pump at the club. I'd need to find an adapter for the pressure gauge to go onto the pump, and everything's fitted. So hydraulic test, hopefully a steam test, and then we'll find out if there's anything else that needs to be done.